Morning,
Recording
Srikanth.
in progress.
How are you, sir?
Good morning, Nandu. Good morning, Chairman.
Morning, Srikanth.
Good morning.
Morning, Priyam, ma'am. Good morning, Priyam, ma'am.
I think we are having some problem unmuting. It took me some time to log in.
Yeah, sir. First, before connecting the audio, it may take some time, sir, and then it will be no issues. Morning, ma'am. Thanks for joining. Yeah, good morning, Priyam. I'm Surinder.
Good morning, sir.
Hi,
Morning,
Priyam.
I'm Nanda Kumar.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Hi, Priyam. Srikanth here.
Shrikant, hi.
Yeah.
Shrikant, I don't know what I'm doing with this panel. I'm a little tiny, very tiny.
Oh, it doesn't add. It doesn't add on volumes, or it doesn't happen that way. Absolutely not. It's good. Any businesses, nobody starts off big.
Yeah, but Shrikant, why can't I see you?
Oh, okay. I shall.
Yeah.
I've got so used to being, muting my video. Naturals and others have not been open, so I'm in bad shape.
They're open now. You can go.
Okay. I'm still keeping away.
It is open.
I say, okay.
Okay. In Tamil Nadu, I saw it's open.
It's open from tomorrow, I think. From tomorrow, today or tomorrow. Yeah. That's good. Okay. Things are going to open. Definitely, I know. There's a business which I thought will never be in recession. Priyam, correct?
Why is that question directed to me only?
Food, which was never considered, industry which will be in recession.
But we are.
I think that's a learning for us. Yeah. It's pretty bad, especially if people are mall oriented and tech park oriented and things like that.
Definitely.
Tech parks don't seem to be opening up, at least for the next, even 2021, I don't think they will open.
Oh.
Recently, there was a news article in Business Line. People are quitting their jobs if they've been asked to work from office.
Okay.
In the US. I was quite surprised that, I thought people would like to get back to work.
Actually, Srikanth, this is true in Mumbai also. A lot of my customers are saying that their productivity has really shot up from working from home, because 4 hours, 2 hours each way of commuting itself is a boon.
Absolutely.
And I mean, these are companies where their procedures are very, well laid out, where you can do online approvals and all that. So
having all that in place, what is some of them are missing is the human connect.
Definitely. That's the major.
So I know of some youngsters who have even changed jobs during this last 1 year. So they've practically not seen their new office. So, it does hurt. And some of them are, working odd hours. And if it had been an office, there is something called a tea break or a lunch break. Now it doesn't happen sometimes. I understand. I think people who are a bit disorganized on that are finding it difficult.
That schedule part is missing, really.
Yeah, true. Life is not anymore. They would, because they're already missing social life. On top of that, if they also miss the good part of working life, I think that's sad.
I think we have a very good number of participants. I see 173.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
A lot of students, I think, have logged in from the college. That's very nice, I think.
Mr. Velu sir has joined, sir?
No, I don't think so. Syed and Velu are yet to join.
Okay.
Doesn't work. We start introducing ourselves.
Yeah, Srikanth, anyway, you have been declared opening batsman, so you're ready. Be ready.
Priyam is our Sehwag.
Oh, really?
How come you know each other?
Yeah, we know each other well.
Circle, round table, circle, anything like that?
Round table.
Okay.
Oh,
Although I
104,
guess
huh?
Srikanth was a part of Circle though.
Yeah, I know. She was hoping that I was something part of Circle.
But 104, huh?
That's right.
Excellent.
Her husband is Sudhanshu.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I know
Sudhanshu is
Sudhanshu.
also, and you also know Rajesh Goyal, right?
Yeah, I know Sudhanshu, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Sudhanshu. Yeah, you should know. Yeah.
Yeah, I was from Bangalore, 96.
Round tabler, a very old round tabler.
Don't use the word old, but
Sorry, round tabler. Past tabler.
square leg of 96. Yeah.
Past tabler. I mean, even I have forgotten round table. I'm sorry, it's not a private room, I think.
It's okay. Let the children won't
Enjoy the
understand.
conversation.
So good morning, sir. Our chairman sir have joined, sir. Welcome to the meeting, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. I welcome you all.
Pleasure. Thank you very much, sir. I think our moderator will be joining Mr. Velu once he joins, and also Mr. Syed, and then we can start, I think.
Okay.
Shall I call?
Sudha, somebody must be online. Sudha, Srinivas? Sudha? Sudha, can you check with Mr. Velu and Mr. Syed?
Sorry, shall I call Velu?
Yeah. I'll call.
Mr. Velu is having some problem with the connection. He's trying to join.
Just ask 2 minutes, sir. I think Mr. Velu will be joining.
Zoom is the easiest of all the online.
Have you tried Clubhouse yet, Srikanth?
Yes, I have. I have now every kind of Meet, Teams, Cisco WebEx. Sometimes I forget each. Of course, I'm not so much on online, but we do all our meetings internally also using these chat rooms. Zoom we prefer, or Google Meet.
Yeah.
Very user-friendly, Zoom. I think
True. No, Zoom, one thing is, switching over from one person to another person on presentation is a bit difficult.
Okay.
I have to stop sharing, then the host has to allow the next person.
Right.
But in Google Meet, it is much easier. And if you have a Gmail account, you have a Google Meet. So it's easy. All our company emails are on the Google server. So it's easier also. Even our documents are on Google Drive.
Okay.
So it's easy to pick up from there, share and everything. So many things I learned in the last 1 year.
Anyway, this is convenient actually to conduct the meetings.
Absolutely, sir.
Definitely, sir.
Now, the last 1 year, I've had a zero marketing budget.
Oh.
I think the best thing ever that happened to us, and without any drop of sales.
Correct. Yeah.
Great.
I mean, of course, the first 2 months of last year's lockdown was bad. Of course, totally locked down. The whole of India was locked down.
Yeah. Go into what material production, sir?
We make alloys which go into the manufacturing of automotive parts.
Okay.
So all automobile manufacturing components people buy from us. Hinduja, that is Ennore Foundries, or Ashok Leyland, Tata Motors,
Generally,
Volvo.
1 year, how's the sales, sir?
Automobiles has again taken a hit in the last 2 months.
Okay.
Because practically the showrooms. Commercial vehicles is still doing very, very bad.
Very bad. Okay.
Yeah. They are down by about already 2019, they had come down by 30%. 2020, they dropped another 20%. So they're working at something like 50% with respect to 2018 volumes.
Oh, okay.
In commercial vehicles, light vehicles are doing okay. Like, this Tata Ace and all that. That is 1-ton vehicle. They are doing okay. But medium and heavy are, because financing is practically stopped today. Even the microfinancing, a lot of them are closed. ILFS and all these people, they went into scams.
Correct,
so today you're left with only banks, pure banking. And pure banking is a bit difficult to find.
whoever got held up with those finance companies are finding it difficult actually because
absolutely. It is.
Even if you want to close the account, they are not giving proper.
Absolutely. So there is a shortage of trucking today.
Yeah.
So we need trucks. So actually today we are finding trucks. But because everybody's scared to buy trucks also now. So it maybe post August, September we should see a boom again. The automobiles are preparing for Diwali.
Okay. I think Shrikant Velu has joined. Velu, good morning.
Very good morning, sir.
You have to unmute. Admin have to unmute Mr. Velus.
Sir, you can unmute yourself, sir. Now we have made
a host. Good morning, all. Some technical glitch. Took me a couple of minutes.
Good morning, sir. Welcome you, sir.
Good morning.
So, shall we start, sir?
Syed sir have to join. I hope so, sir.
Okay, sir.
Shall we wait or Savelu, sir?
Just a second. He said he'll join by 10.
Yeah.
Shrikant, I'm having a problem with my video. I don't know. It's not.
Need to see smart people around.
You can see a blank screen. I don't know if it doesn't switch on. It's a Lenovo issue.
Okay. It's Pondicherry issue. I am a Apple guy, so
I don't know. The last, if number of people in the Zoom go up, I have this issue of the video. I don't know why. It's okay.
196 plus. Wow.
So Syed sir is joining. He has same issue in Zoom. So he said he will try to join in another few minutes.
Mr. Velu, you can take over. Once he joins, I think you can start. I think.
Yeah. So Dr. Pradeep, you can start.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Maghimiraj, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Good morning to one and all. In the meeting of great minds, will provide solutions in recent challenges in entrepreneurship and education. With this beautiful thought, a very happy morning to all. On behalf of Entrepreneurship Development Cell, myself, Dr. B. Maghimiraj, Professor and Head, Department of Mechanical Engineering of Sri Venkateshwaraa College of Engineering and Technology, feel honored to welcome the dignitaries, special invitees, faculty members, and students for the virtual meeting CEO Talks, How to be Successful Startuppreneur. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Quote by Walt Disney. Now, I request our beloved principal, Dr. S. Pradeep Devinay, Sri Venkateshwaraa College of Engineering and Technology, to deliver the welcome address.
Please. Yeah, thank you, Maghimiraj. Yes. Honorable Chairman of our institution, most respected past chairmen of CII Puducherry, respected mentor, Industry Institute Connect Panel CII Puducherry, beloved convener, Industry Institute Connect Panel CII Puducherry, beloved Vice Chairman CII, CEO of the Indian Cafe Express, faculty and other stakeholders of our group of institution, and most importantly, the participants and my student and faculty friends from our institution. It gives me a great pleasure to extend you all a very warm welcome. The outbreak of and rapid spread of COVID-19 has disrupted the lives, communities, and economies worldwide. While COVID-19 prevails, its impact on business keeps increasing. However, we should see a bright side of it. An organizational theorist, James G. March, has long pointed out that crisis is one of the fundamental motivations of innovation. Under a crisis like COVID-19, a firm's survival and success are no longer a matter of improving its effectiveness and efficiency. Instead, the survival rests on the firm's ability to define strategies and develop capabilities to navigate new opportunities to innovate. Entrepreneurship is an exciting but risky business, even in the best of times. Last 1.5 years could reasonably be called as the worst times. that the world has collectively endured in the recent memory. And most people respond to such time is to avoid risk. But entrepreneurs are a special breed, who are the individuals whom challenges are exciting rather than fearing, who respond to change by pivoting rather than digging their heads, and who see opportunities where others see as a roadblock. Sri Venkateshwaraa College of Engineering Technologies always aspire to excel in all the fields. Hence, we came up with the most haunted topic of today's research world, startuppreneurs, which is working towards innovation, development, deployment, and commercialization of new products, process, or services driven by technology or intellectual property. Thus, innovation is inevitable for being a startuppreneur. Today, we gathered through this online meeting where we are going to hear from the CEOs on how young and innovative researchers could be a successful startuppreneur. It's my gratitude to welcome our most beloved and dynamic chairman, Steve Ramachandran sir, an illustrious personality who has been continuing his charitable tradition and encouraging education in all possible spheres. I welcome you, sir. I'm delighted to welcome Mr. Nandakumar sir, past chairman, CII Puducherry, and joint managing director, Librax Rubber Linings Private Limited. Your presence on this occasion shows a positive note upon your commitment towards molding the young budding engineers towards being a job creator and not a job seeker. On behalf of the management and on my own behalf, I cordially welcome Mr. Srikanth Sivaraman sir, past chairman CII Puducherry and director SNUM Alloys Private Limited. I thank him for providing his gracious presence to join us today to enhance and to enlighten the young minds towards being a startuppreneur. I am profusely elated to take an opportunity to welcome Mr. Syed Shajat Ali sir, mentor, Industry Institute Connect Panel CII Puducherry, and Managing Director Eton Power Quality Private Limited, a man of distinct vision and a fountainhead of illuminating ideas, an idol of knowledge and experience, and an inspiration to all of us. We will honor to have with us Mr. C.S. Velu sir, convener, Indian Institute Connect Panel, CII Puducherry, and Site Director, Hindustan Unilever Limited, an efficient administrator, and today's moderator of this event, whose kind presence makes us happy on this happiest occasion. It's a matter of great honor to welcome Dr. S. Surender sir, Vice Chairman CII Puducherry and Director, The Flavors India Private Limited. You are one of the most celebrated resource person of today's event, sir. It's my pleasure to welcome Priyam Goyal ma'am, CEO, the Indian Cafe Express, the Tatka Dabba, and Meraki Lifestyle Store for being the resource speaker. She is working towards connecting young minds to strive towards success and achievement. We are grateful to you for accepting our invitation and becoming the resource person of today's event. I'm extremely happy to extend my hearty welcome to all the heads of the institution, our Dean of our engineering college, faculty members, my dear students, non-teaching and teaching faculty, and all other participants of this today's event. Once again, I welcome everyone with all my pleasant greetings. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our beloved and dynamic chairman, sir, Sri Venkateshwaraa Group of Institution, to deliver the presidential address. Welcome, sir.
Pleasant morning to all. I would like to start with a journalist note on a single step. There are moments in life where you can't see where you are going, but you keep marching forward one step, and your bravery. Your courage in the small steps will lead you to new things. Don't ever overlook the power of a single step. Those steps will change your life. While reading these lines, I can relate it to myself. Yes, still I am with several single steps moving forward. With this positive note, I am delighted to express my warm welcome to all the eminent speakers and experts from the reputed organizations to share this invaluable insights on how to be a successful startup-preneur. Dear students, you may have some questions in your mind, like why many different programs are being conducted. We have joined this institution only to know about engineering subjects, then why not we focus on our academics? Why to attend all such out-of-the-box topics? That too, particularly, what is the need for this kind of entrepreneur startup-based programs? For all the questions, I give you only one answer. You need to explore more to compete and survive in this world. We are opening the doors for you to explore. Make use of it. You have the freedom to decide your career. We are not forcing you. We just letting you to understand the experiences and lessons of all the achievers. To end my note, I share you the lesson which I learned. Idiot, explore more, have 360-degree field of vision, learn from failures, then success will reach you. All the best to everyone to make this event a grand success. And I wish this program will enlighten everyone to have a broad thought of entrepreneurship. And as an entrepreneur, I would like to even share a few of my experiences. I started a shampoo manufacturing company when I was around 23 years old. That was totally a new thing. I was not aware of anything. I am not a technical person to start a shampoo company. But I learned a lot from that shampoo company only. I know how to learn the rules, what is the government norms, how the government departments function, how the marketing is being handled. Because in that age, I started recruiting marketing staffs. I was interacting with them, how to do, because I belong to Kadalur, where the shampoos are manufactured in sachets, it's been filled up. That's for the whole of the country. Kadalur is the birthplace of shampoo, you can say, particularly for the sachet shampoos. I had the opportunity of interacting with Dr. Raj Kumar, Dr. Mr. Ranganathan, all those people, all our colleagues used to be in the shampoo. We had a good association. We used to be very active in that association also. So we learned a lot of things. That was the background for me today to run the education or any of the field what we do in the present state. So this you will be having a very good experience with the leaders of this business world, particularly the CII have a very good combination of all variety of businesses and experiences. Definitely today will be a very eye-opening thing for all our students and young entrepreneurs who like to change our country and create a bright future for our country and for yourself. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your valuable experiences. So now I welcome and introduce Mr. I. Syed Sajid Ali, past chairman and mentor, Industry Institute Connect Panel, CII Puducherry, and managing director, Eaton Power Quality Private Limited. Mr. Syed Sajid Ali is managing director, India, electrical sector, Eaton. He is responsible for providing leadership and strategic direction of Eaton's electrical business in India. His leadership includes managing the activities for the power of distribution, power quality, busman, and power systems in India, including operations, sales, finance, and HR functions of the business in the country. Prior to this, Mr. Syed was managing director of Cooper Busman India. He has an experience of more than 35 years in the electrical industry. Prior to joining Cooper, Mr. Syed sir held leadership roles at GE, Alstom, GEC, and English Electric in India. Mr. Syed is also involved with various other activities connected to the industry and educational institutions as below. Past chairman of the Puducherry State Council of Confederation of Indian Industry, member of India CEO Forum, Senate member NIT Karaikal, CII panel convener, Industry Institute Connect from 2016 to 2020. Now I request Mr. I. Syed Sajid Ali sir to deliver special address.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the nice introduction. Good morning to everyone on the call. To my fellow CII colleagues, to all the other participants, a very, very warm welcome to this great event. In fact, I want to primarily thank and congratulate Velu. He is the convener of this panel. And we know the last 1.5 years how our regular businesses have been impacted and how we are unable to conduct our normal routines. And some of us are trying to improvise, some of us are trying to manage, and some of us are also, honestly, I'm telling you, we are hiding behind the COVID carnage for not being able to do certain things. But Velu has been steadfast, be it COVID, be it lockdown or no lockdown. He wanted to have the activities going on. And we have already had some very good interactions in the last 3-4 months. Yes, though we have been talking about the usual the internship to the placement to industrial visits and all that. He didn't stop there and he wanted to take it to the next level. And I remember Mr. Pradeep also during the last interaction, he was talking about this topic of startupreneurship. And then today it has been given a shape. And I'm very happy to participate in this. Happier to see the panel because more than me talking, we have an impressive panel lined up. They themselves are successful entrepreneurs, startuppreneurs, whatever you call, and they have reached their eminence through whatever modes, and that is going to be the bigger learning for us. While I may not know their complete route, what I may know for sure is that nothing came to them on a gold plate. Nothing was inherited on its own. They would have done the course corrections. They would have done something different. And that is why they are there today as entrepreneurs. And we are going to learn from them. We are going to hear from them. While I say that, certainly, those days are gone where the businesses have to be only inherited, where you need to have a technical mastery, to become your own entrepreneur, or you have to study yourself from a great business school, Harvard, Girward, all those things. But the realities have proved everything wrong. You don't have to have, those kind of background. You don't need to have those kind of stuff. The biggest specimen is that, today, if you take Steve Jobs, the Apple is, one of the top-notch companies in the world. And, Steve Jobs' background and the kind of dropout he was in his early days, and today what kind of successful empire he is running, or his company is running. So with those kind of setup, I would say that what is more required, what in my opinion is required, is the entrepreneurial mindset. It is not the background, it is not the engineering degree, it is not something X, Y, Z or something. It is only the entrepreneurial mindset. If you have, then you become an entrepreneur and you will be able to build on that, right? If you see the recent terms, the kind of a corona carnage, what the whole world is now suffering into. I was going through a news item where one of the top startup companies, one of the best leveraged company in the corona context is one company called Cookit. You may Google and see it. Cookit is a company which was started during the corona period, and it is already doing big news around the world, and it has already become a super success. What they have done is that because in a lockdown situation, you don't go out and you are working from home, and many of us are trying to learn cooking to many other things. And this company was started saying that So many people have got a need, to try cooking. So many people have got a need, to enter into the kitchen for the first time. But then, if you want to learn something and try to do through a recipe book, which is printed, right? It is very difficult. Even to make a tea through that instructions in a recipe book will be difficult. To measure so many ml, to measure so many grams, to give 3 minutes, all these things, it is very difficult to literally understand that and follow. So this company decided, no, I will develop an app through which, this will be a kind of a compilation of all the cooking recipes, everything, anything you can click, and then there will be a oral instruction along with a visual, demonstration coming up. And that can be, easily followed by, anyone, to do something. So that way they immediately, put together, and then they started that. Today, already, their business has exceeded more than $20-25 million. Unbelievable, just to put something together and then get into that kind of a success. So what I'm trying to say is that entrepreneurial mindset is the one which is required. So the entrepreneurial mindset, if I say, is it possible to develop that today? Is it possible to make people get into that kind of a mindset? Yes. Is it absolutely possible? It is absolutely possible, because there is no specific ingredient, there is no specific degree, there is no specific expertise which is required to get into that, right? So what is basically required will be your the positive mental attitude. You need to have a positive mental attitude that yes, I can do this. Yes, there is a possibility, right? There are specimens, there are people, right? If you talk about I normally admire Henry Ford as to how he became an entrepreneur, where he started, and then how he grew up. If you talk about India, I normally take Dhirubhai Ambani, who running from a cycle shop today, that is the number one company in this country. So that positive mental attitude is the one which is primary requisite for a entrepreneurial mindset. Then certainly you need to be creative. You need to be creative, like the cooking website example, what I said. You need to be certainly creative. But it is not that you will sit and try to think and keep what can I create, what can I create. It will be the circumstances, it will be the situations where you will be connecting something. In fact, again, in one of the interviews, Steve Jobs was questioned as to how did you create this kind of a product? How did you think about this kind of a product? And today, that product is unbeatable in the world. How did you do that? And in the open television interview where the whole world was looking at, Steve Jobs said that I feel guilty. I feel guilty to answer this question because I did not sit and create anything. I did not sit and create anything. It just happened. He just says it just happened. I was just trying to connect certain things. I was just able to connect certain things in terms of some of the needs, some of the problems, some of the bottlenecks, some of the expertise, some of the technology. I was just trying to connect certain things, and that connection brought this product out. And honestly, I did not create this. That is the kind of an answer he gave. So which means that you have to just look at the situations, look at the dynamics, and try to connect the dots, and you will certainly move forward. You will be coming up with the ideas. Definitely you need to communicate as to what you are thinking about, what you want to do. You need to talk to people, and end of the day, when you have all these things together, you need to certainly have a drive. You need to have a drive to give a shape to these things. And when you try to give a shape to these things, then there will be bottlenecks, there will be headwinds, there will be hiccups. And you need to have the tenacity. You need to have the tenacity to address all these things and then move ahead. Then automatically, your idea is going to take shape. You are going to grow a business. You are going to become an entrepreneur, and you are able to move forward, right? I don't want to take much of your time because I want to hear also from the eminent panelists. But certainly, I want to give a data point to all of you people as to why it is possible. why entrepreneurship is not not destined for only a set of people. It is for everybody. In fact, the prisons around the world have got a metric. Like every business has got their own metric. Prisons, they have a metric that is called recidivism. Recidivism is something that they measure, that how many people come back to the prison. How many people come back to the prison, right? Why somebody goes to the prison? People commit some mistakes, people commit a crime, and then they are punished and they go to the prison. And the purpose of putting them into the prison is to make them realize that they have done something wrong and they should not repeat it and they should not come back again. That is the purpose of that. But the fact of the matter is that most of the people, or significant amount of the people, go and commit the same mistake and they come back again to the prison. That is what is called recidivism, which is repeating the crimes, repeating the mistakes, right? So one prison in US, I don't remember the name of the place, had the record of 49% recidivism. 49% recidivism means that whoever is coming into that prison within 3 months of time of their release, they're all not big major offenders who will be spending life sentences and all that. It's all petty crimes, and they will go, and then within 3 months of time, 49% of the people come back. So that is the worst kind of a situation which anybody can see as to why the prison imprisonment is not teaching them any lessons. Finally, they did various things, what to do and how to talk to these people, how to correct them and all that. And believe me, the major success from that 49% today, it is around 21%. Some time ago, I know this. The reason is that they were able to work on these people and then bring the entrepreneurial mindset on those people. Entrepreneurial mindset on those people who do not have an education, who do not know to correct themselves, who do not know as to what else can be done. And those people were educated or inculcated with the entrepreneurial mindset. They were taught as to what you can do, what is your potential, how you can do this, options, all those things given together. Today, from the 49%, it has got to 21%, which means the 28% of the people, they were not given a government job, they were not given something else. They were all made as entrepreneurs. They were all made, as some business people doing their own business. So when the entrepreneurial mindset can be inculcated in those kind of people, today what we are talking about is with the educated masses, educated people. Mr. Ramachandran made a nice point as to people must be wondering as to why are we talking about startupreneurship here? We are in the engineering segment. Why don't we continue to focus on engineering? That's a good point he made. Yes, that is where it is not only the academics is only a label what you need when you move forward, but beyond that, entrepreneurship is one which can take you to different kind of spheres, different kind of heights. You can, be the employer for multiple number of people, and you can grow your own business empires. So that is what is the power of entrepreneurship. And now currently, called also as startupreneurship, as not only have that entrepreneurship in your mind, go ahead, start something, build the cat. So that is the kind of a term which is getting recoined. So on that note, thank you very much, Velu, for putting these things together. Thanks for the eminent panelists to have accepted to join this forum, and along with you, I am also waiting to hear from them. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you very much. All the very best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your motivation for the young budding engineers, especially to become a startupreneurship. In entrepreneurship mindset, positive mental attitude, to dive to shape to be a successful entrepreneur and startuppreneur. Thank you, sir. Now I introduce Mr. C.S. Velu, Site Director, Hindustan Unilever Limited. Mr. Velu has more than 20 years of experience with a demonstrated history of working in the consumer goods industry, FMCG, with varied skill set, supply chain management, safety management, quality management, cost reduction, inventory control, with hands-on experience on manufacturing excellence, techniques, TPM, WCM. Mr. Velu is a strong operation professional with a BE, focused in mechanical engineering and number of certifications on varied skill sets: energy management, project management, quality auditing, behavioral safety training, auditing, TPM, WCM, auditing, and DISC certified. Mr. Velu was convener, MSME and Manufacturing Panel, CII Puducherry for the year 2020-21, and convener, Industry Institute Connect Panel, CII Puducherry for the year 2021-22. Now I request Mr. C.S. Velu to take over the session. Please, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, all.
Good morning, sir.
Really happy to be part of this wonderful session. What a lovely setting on a Saturday morning, 12th June. In fact, we have been planning for this session for quite some time, and really happy to see this session coming alive, and really happy to have more than 200 plus participants. Okay. Of course, I will not be talking much about entrepreneurship because I am not an entrepreneur. That is the reason I'm a moderator for this session. So I really don't know anything about running a business. So throughout my life, more than 25 years, I've been working. But in fact, the way I look at professionals and entrepreneurs are that professionals are people who take salary, and entrepreneurs are people who give salary. So in fact, I've been a taker in life so far. I have not been a giver. Okay, of course, I work with a large set of people, but the person who is an entrepreneur, basis my understanding, is a person who takes huge amount of risk. Maybe I didn't have that in me to kind of take that risk, but looking back, I can say that really that would have been one path I could have taken. Of course, for this session, I was actually trying to understand what I should be speaking, because this is a new topic. When your principal talked about this topic, startupreneur. In fact, till that time, I was not aware of this term, startupreneur. So I tried to kind of Google and understand this word, because we are very familiar with this term, entrepreneur. Okay, so I know entrepreneur is a French word which talks about to start, actually. Yeah, so something you give. Okay, so to that extent, if you see, when I just looked at this, I really found a very wonderful graph on startupreneur. So in this session, I know there are a lot of students. We will try to keep this session more lively, more interactive. So my request to all students, it is you who are going to make the session interesting. It is your questions which is going to be making interesting. It is not that we are just going to keep pouring a lot of wisdom to you. No, if you're thinking that way, absolutely no. It will be, we will co-create the session. The four eminent panelists will share their initial perspective the way Syed sir shared for the first 5-10 minutes. They will also share their 5-10 minutes. But after that, it is you people, the kind of questions that you're going to ask will make the session more interesting. So my request to all participants, please participate, please ask more questions. With this, before I introduce the panel, I just want you to all of you to take your mobile and type www.menti.com, please. All of you can do this, because I'll just ask a question. All of you can see a screen. I'll share my screen. You're able to see my screen? You're able to see my screen?
Yeah, we can see Velu.
Okay, so you can see you have to type www.menti.com. And you will be asked a passcode. All of you got www.menti.com? Please type the passcode 75349320. Okay? And I've just asked a question.
Just repeat.
Write one word about your understanding of startupreneur. Of course, all of us have our own understanding.
The passcode is right on the top. Yeah.
Yeah. You can see the top line. So you can see the code 75349320. and type whatever comes to your mind, students. In fact, we are 200 plus, so we should be seeing all what we are thinking now. Yeah. Innovation, very good. The first person has started. Definitely a new business, right? More to come. Young intelligence, okay. Create, market demand, wonderful. Keep coming. Start, create. Wow. Market demand, marketing. Any more business ideas? Imagining, really good. Yeah, keep coming. New business, bootstrap. Yeah, nice. Very good. Production, marketing. Yeah. Producing. Yeah. Start. Wow. Selling, future. Yeah, definitely. New business is all about future. Very good. So I think all of us have our own understanding of a startup. Yeah, definitely. There is nothing right, wrong in this. All our perspectives are definitely right. So now let's do one thing. Let's go for the next question. What is a suitable age to become a startuppreneur? What do you think is a suitable age to become a startuppreneur? 20 to 30? Okay. So most of you are saying 20 to 30. Okay. Some people are saying, okay, 30 to 40. Yeah. Yeah. Still, most of you are thinking 20 to 30. Okay. So entrepreneurship can be starting any business. So you can just slightly expand the topic. Okay. So most of you feel it is 20 to 30. Maybe immediately after college and maybe a couple of years of experience, you can start. And some of you feel it should be 30 to 40. Good. I know there are some 100 plus students. So this is one way of checking how many of you are attentive. It's a good way of checking. So 20 students are now on the call. They have switched on the call and they are attending. Thank you. Thank you for all the students who are on the call and engaged. In fact, let me tell you, it's a big test for the speakers, because if we start talking a lot of things, maybe you will get bored and you'll find it very difficult. So I know our speakers will do a wonderful job and keep you engaged. Really good. I think most of you are feeling that it is 20 to 30. Okay. So I think there is no right, wrong answer as such. In fact, good to see that none of you are feeling that 40 to 50 is the right age. But let me tell you, there are examples, people who have started business and 40 and 50 or even beyond also. So Colonel Sanders started the KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, in his 60s. Okay. So KFC is one of the world's largest fried chicken, and it's really doing very well. I think it was started in the 60s. So there is no right, wrong answers. Yeah, most of all what you're saying, all the big companies that we're currently seeing, be it Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, so all of them actually did it in between 20 to 30. Yeah, so I think all of them just out of college, they started doing this business. And the idea which they started, and it really kind of, they perceived on that and they kind of made it really great. So thank you for that. Well, let me give you my take of what is the entrepreneur. Okay, so this is what I found as a wonderful graph about a startup. Okay, so normally what happens is that whenever you want to start anything new, you are very happy, you're excited because you're going to do something new, you have an idea. And you start seeing initial success. There is a lot of initial enthusiasm in that. But suddenly something starts going wrong. Maybe some issue, some kind of some money, some kind of setbacks can come in. Maybe some loss or something. Okay. then you really start going or wondering what I should do, or because the happiness starts moving to sadness. Okay, that is where a lot of experimenting, lot of perseverance is required, and slowly something starts working, and you finally work on a product, and then once the product is good, then you pick up scale, then you move on. Okay, so it's not that it's going to be a smooth journey. It's really going to be ups and downs, which we have to be prepared for. Okay, when it is below the trough, how much we are persevering will make all the difference. In fact, some people actually give up. They start a business, they see a loss, and they're no more interested. They are worried about all their commitments, so on and so forth. They just give up. So most of the businesses fail in the tough portion. Okay, some people who have succeeded, all the big names that we are aware of, be it Facebook, Microsoft, anyone for that matter, I think they've all gone through this tough. I cannot think of anyone who wouldn't have had their share of failures. And after that perseverance, once the scale starts picking up, is when we start seeing results. Okay, it's motivating to see the result part after a couple of years. But what we also have to understand is that they've also had their own share of troughs, which we all should be prepared when, if at all, we are planning for our venture. Yeah. So with this, I would like to introduce our panel. In fact, we have 4 eminent panels in front of us. First, I would like to introduce Mr. Srikanth Sivaraman, past chairman, CII Puducherry, and director, Snam Alloys Private Limited. Srikanth sir has got 27 years of experience and holds the responsibility of all production activities, product development, process control activities, maintenance activities, quality control activities, purchase activities, marketing activities, financial monitoring, technology upgrade, IT resources, planning, and long-term planning of Snam Alloys. Okay, so one person really having multiple experience, and he has completed his bachelor's in chemical engineering from Manipal Institute of Technology, Karnataka. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining for this session. Now, I would request you to address the students.
Thank you, Velu. I think, with all due regards to HUL, I think you too can become an entrepreneur now. I think one of the biggest challenges today to the education, the academics, is keeping the interest in the children or the students. I think you have tried to do that in the last 5 to 10 minutes. And Mr. Ramchandran, you will be very pleased to know that Mr. C.K. Ranganathan is today our chairman of Southern Region of CII, who you have been associated with in your early days of shampoo business. Good morning to all of you. Yeah, it's this entrepreneur. How can you be a successful entrepreneur? I probably started my journey along with my father. My father was the one who started the business, but I joined him in about 6 to 7 years after he started. But believe me, even as he started, I was made part of the business journey. I think I was in my school, in high school, and I was given the job of, he had left a very promising job as the head of operations of a multinational company, along with 2 others, and started this company. All 3 of them were working in the same company. One of them was the head of operations, that was my father. The other was the head of finance, and the third was the head of projects. And all 3 of them came out and started this company with their provident fund. Just the money from their provident fund, which they had maybe accumulated over a period of 10 to 12 years. Why I'm saying this is, often people think to become an entrepreneur, you need to have a good financial background or backup, or you have to inherit. No, none of them had ever been in a business family. As a matter of fact, everybody had dissuaded my father to become an entrepreneur, except for my grandfather, who was again from the government. He was the Director General of Post Office. Again, a good posting in the government. He just couldn't believe that somebody would throw away a job from a multinational company and start this. So why would somebody become an entrepreneur? Yeah, we had, at what age and all that. We have seen people becoming an entrepreneur at 60. We have seen people becoming at 30 or less, even at 10 and 12. Why does one? There has to be a purpose, right? It can be even the purpose to become an entrepreneur, or purpose to even work in an organization. You will have some purpose. For some, it may be status. The pure status that you get by being an entrepreneur. I mean, I don't say that your status improves, but it can. The other thing is power. Yes, there is some amount of power by being your own boss. A sense of accomplishment can be there. I have achieved this. I have created this business. I have given birth to this business, and it has grown. Autonomy, freedom. You don't want to work in a certain style. You want to be free the way you like to work. That can be one of the reasons or purposes. And sometimes the social mission. You want to do something good to the society. Another classic example, it may be a basic need for you itself. I do not know how many of you know Red Bus. I think many of you would have used it, where you can book tickets for buses. I think now they've gone on to trains also. And this business was started by a boy, and he was just out of college or still in college. And, he had a booking in a college, in a bus, night bus. When he came to board the bus, he found that he did not have his booking. And he struggled for the next 1 or 2 hours to get a booking in another bus. And he could not do that. And he had to be in his hometown the very next day. So this prompted him to build a software code wherein somebody can book tickets on different buses. That's all. He went on to sell this business to Go Ibibo at a record price of, I think, 500 crores or 600 crores in just about 5 to 6 years of business. So sometimes it's just your own need that will drive you to become or be the purpose to start a business. So as I said, you need to have the motivation, the mental thing. But believe me, the best place to start business, and most of you are going to be very surprised to hear this, is India. India, believe me, is the best place to start a business. Without collateral, without money. Nowhere in the world can you do that except in India. The government gives you seed money. The government gives you seed capital that you can use as a collateral and take it to the bank. So many things are available. It's just that we keep blaming the government. We keep blaming the policies. Yes, there is some amount of red tapeism. Believe me, red tapeism is there in every organization too. We have seen it in our own organizations, red tapeism creeps in. So similarly, it would have crept in the government departments, but nothing better than India to start a business. And India is a host to the maximum number of micro, small, and medium scale industries in the world. So you can't have that. And MSME today is driving the economy in India, even during these times of Corona. As I was talking of purpose, then we talked of location, India. Why not India? Yes, definitely is a place. Then we looked at age. I don't think there's an age. Anything. You can be as young, you can be in school, you could be in college, you could be just after college. I know a very good, very famous entrepreneur in Coimbatore. You know what was his purpose to become an entrepreneur? He fell in love when he was in college. He went to his future father-in-law and said, I'm in love with your daughter. I would like to marry her. He said, what do you do? He said, I'm in my 3rd year of engineering. He said, how do I know that you keep my daughter good, well, you look after well? And do you have any business background? Coimbatore is a business background area, they all look at that. And none of this he had. He immediately went upon to start a business in his 3rd year. He started a machining company in Coimbatore, and today is one of the most famous machining companies in Coimbatore. He recently even had an IPO and was well subscribed. And of course, his father-in-law agreed, because by the time he was out of college, 2 years after college, he was so successful in business, he was hiring 150 people and running a business of about 1 crore of business a month. So sometimes it can be just love that can make you to start a business. So I'm just giving you instances that nothing can be said that, oh yes, it just doesn't have to be a business idea. It can be the need. It can be a social mission. It can be even, to woo a girl. Why not? Or to woo a boy. It can be that also, as simple as that. So, and nothing better than India. So please look at entrepreneurship as one of your careers. And purpose has to be the biggest thing. If you do not have purpose, then you will never be successful. And you should enjoy what you do. I should enjoy coming to office daily or doing work. If I do not, I have to reinvent myself and make myself enjoy it. If you do not enjoy what you do, I don't think you would be as successful. I'm sure all our teachers, your principal and our panelists, the others, all enjoy what they do. And that is the reason they are in that business. And that is something which is very important. Maybe as you start a business, I'm just going to give you from experience. I joined my father in about 6th year of him starting the company. I was made to do things like I had to write all the addresses on the envelopes. I was paid a monthly thing of, I think, 25 rupees. I mean, that was much because I could buy 10 ice creams. I was in my 10th standard, rather. And then what happened was he allowed me to file papers. You may say, what is so great in that? Even that was taught to me, how to file a paper. You have to fold it into half. And then, you then punch it and then file it. How do you file it? How do you index it? All this helped me. And the age of 9th standard, I was made to go deposit money in a bank. All these were learnings. I knew how a bank then worked. By the time I came into business, the bank manager knew me when I walked into the bank because I was already doing 6 years of walking into his branch and depositing money or depositing checks. I knew how to write challans, which unfortunately many of even my own children don't. And I feel sad about that. I think that was something. My father groomed me well. That was something which we need somebody who's a good mentor. A good mentor is somebody you need. And that is something I would look at even at academics, principals and deans and HODs. Be a good mentor to them. Sometimes they may not have it in their family, but you can provide that. And today, I think we have the Atal Incubation Center in Pondicherry Engineering College. That's another right area. And we in CII are doing mentoring also to many of our colleagues in industry. We can also do it to young entrepreneurs, be a mentor to you all and help you in the starting of a business. Now, once you start a business, yes, there are going to be hiccups, but I would say it's all in the game. Always the other side looks green and it's worth the effort. And today, you can go look back and be very proud when you do well. But believe me, in your first few years, you would have to think businesses first. I know people do not agree with this term, but even today, my wife says she thinks my business is my first wife. Not that I do not take care of her or my family, but she believes that I would react first to my business and then to her. But that's how I was. I'm a bit conservative, but nothing wrong. And if you plan to have partners, I would say have utmost trust in them. I think that's very important if you have partners in business. If you do not have trust, then do not think of having a partnership. So this is one of the biggest challenges we have also found for early businesses to fail is the lack of trust among fellow partners or fellow directors. The second thing we have found for failures in Indian businesses is conserve your company money. If you get a working capital or a loan from a bank, do not think it's money to buy a house or to buy a car. It's for running your business. So this is another thing we have found for businesses to fail. They tend to think the money is theirs. They go buy a house, buy jewelry, buy a car. Mind you, that business has been loaned to you to run the business. So conserve the money, be frugal. And that is one of the things which today I found in the last 1 year during this pandemic. I never suffered. We have been frugal enough. And Mr. Velu, I'd like to take a word from you. You said you have been a taker and not a giver. I have lived as a taker. We have worked in this company and we get a salary. So that means we were conservative enough to conserve our finances, and it helped us during this pandemic. We did not miss a single salary date. We did not miss a single payment to our suppliers. We were even able to help a few suppliers with advances, and we managed the first lockdown, and we are managing even today. So be frugal, ensure the money which is in the business is for the business. Yes, you can invest in business, but do not take that as your personal money. And of course, very important is for you to be happy in that business. You should see monetary benefits, right? Yes, apart from salary, maybe you can look at dividends or a small share of the profits. But it's good to keep the money, as much as the money as possible in the business, so that you can grow. Now, once you have started the business, you should learn to lead from the front. And once you lead from the front, you know when you're leading from the front is when you're what we call as, it's an acquired leadership. We say in leadership, there's acquired leadership and imposed leadership. Imposed means, yes, everybody knows you're the boss. They have to come to you. But the more you're an acquired leader, when people come to you in terms of both distress and in terms of happiness, they come to share your happiness, and they also come to share when they have a problem. So you learn to be an acquired leader. When do you do that? When people know below in your organization or across the society that you are dependable, you can deliver results, you can be of help. That is a much better thing rather than, I'm the boss. Let's come to me. Yeah, you are going to be the boss. But the moment, people understand that you are an acquired leader, the things change. People work for you in a different manner. Have passion, have a vision, at least a 10-year vision. What is it that I would like to see my business 10 years from now? Once you have the idea, do that. Today, I know most entrepreneurs think, let me start a business, or let me get an idea, let me sell the idea, let me have a valuation for the idea, let me sell it. I'm a little bit of an old school. I believe that businesses are for years to come, for generations to come. Right from Mr. Syed Ali, his company, Eaton, previously known as Cooper Busman, or HUL, they have been in this business for years, for generations. So believe that your business will be there for years, and just do not start a company to get it valuated and sell. Yes, you do get good valuations, but believe me, brick and mortar and longevity is the best thing. Once you have a vision, set out to have objectives, small, short-term objectives, long-term objectives, work on them daily, bring it down to a daily basis, work on them daily, see how it is happening, how is your business running. Even ensure that you do a monthly profit and loss. It helps. No use just waiting for your auditor to do that. You just don't have to be a financial person to do a profit and loss. Even an engineer can do that. And one of the statements right from the beginning is, what is it why an engineer is being asked to become an entrepreneur? Any educational background, believe me, you need that. It will help you at some point of time during your business. Education is good. Do learn. It helps you in the basics, how to present, how to talk to people. The other thing which I find missing in today's Generation Z or Generation Y is know the world. People do not know anything beyond a certain thing, I find. I'll give you a classic example. We started to sell to Italy. And I was on my visit to Italy to meet my customer. The customer picked me up in his car. And as we were driving to his office, he showed me one of the football stadiums and said, do you know football? And immediately I started telling him, yes, AC Milan, Juventus, Real Madrid, various names. He was so surprised that an Indian knew football. We went on to become very good friends. That evening, he took me to a first league football match, which I could have never dreamt of in those days. Until today, the very first thing when we write a WhatsApp to each other is talk about our favorite football team, and then we talk about business. But it broke the ice, and we continue to be business partners, or we are customers and suppliers for the past 20 years because I knew something which interested him. So know what's happening in the world. This can sometimes break the ice, and you will find more people reacting to you, more people accepting you. Have good leadership, know the world, have a vision, be an authentic leader, and believe in criticism and feedback. Take feedback, take criticism. All this helps. And as you build business, build a team, build systems. All these are good. Invest in technology. If you look at, when people who have got good technology have gone on to see years and years of business, even during pandemics. People have worked on them. So nothing better than good technology. And believe in this mantra that change is permanent. Do not think that what you're doing today is right. And change is coming, and change is for good. Even this pandemic is for a good. And we will learn how to manage our lives even in the worst of such pandemics. And businesses have learned to do that. Individuals have learned to do that. And you'll be very surprised. Many individuals have accepted working from home, and all these things have never. Today, my marketing cost in the last 1 year is almost zero. It's almost zero. None of my marketing teams have traveled in the last 1 year. They're all working from home. They've not come back to office. And I've grown 15% in the last 1 year. So what more do you need? I know many people have struggled in this pandemic, but this is also a lesson for us. We have taken accepted this technology of online, Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Google Meet, communicating with our suppliers, communicating with our partners, with our team. Even internally, we don't meet physically. We all work with online such chat rooms, and it is working. So imbibe good technology, read what's happening, read the newspaper. That's another thing which is not happening. All of you, I wish all of you do spend time reading newspapers. I found a few schools which even gave the newspaper every day, but I don't know how many of them still read. My daughter was given, but I'm sure she doesn't read them. But, develop the habit of reading. Be it books, be it fictional books, you will pick up something. I don't know how many of you know of an author called Arthur Haley. He has written some wonderful books on a hotel, on how to run a news channel, a broadcasting company. On travel industry, about airports, he has written about that. With a lot of research, he has done that. So believe me, even fiction can give you value to your business, to your idea. And dream on. As Mr. Abdul Kalam, our late president, Mr. Abdul Kalam said, dream. Of course, dream with your eyes open and make sure you can realize your dreams. And wishing you all that you all become great entrepreneurs and we take India to greater heights. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Really wonderful. In fact, I picked up quite a lot of insights with what you have shared. In fact, I just kept on writing quite a lot of points actually. Okay, India is a good place to start business. Age is no barrier. Purpose has to be the biggest thing. So be frugal, save money, and knowing more is good. I think the last thing is something which I truly believe, and I try to kind of practice that in my work life also, because in our company we believe in a concept called as owner's mindset. So even though I'm a salaried employee, we are supposed to be doing what is called have a owner's mindset. So I run a large business, so close to 3,000 crore turnover, and we spend a lot of money in this place. Okay, so I'm the single person responsible for that, so I can make a lot of difference for that. But it's not my money, so it's company's money. But still, if you have the owner's mindset, you can make a difference. And thankfully, we have made good difference, and that is the reason the share price of HUL has been what it is in the last many years. Okay, so I think really thank you. I think I picked up quite a lot of insights. And next, I would like to introduce our speaker, Ms. Priyam Goyal, CEO of India Cafe Express, the Tadka Dhaba and Meraki Lifestyle. Ms. Priyam was born and raised in Calcutta, graduated from Sophia College for Mumbai, started her career with an agency for 8 years, handling PR and events for Tata Steel primarily. Now she is settled in Pondicherry with 3 small enterprises, the India Cafe Express, the Tadka Dhaba, authentic North Indian restaurant, and a multi-designer boutique space called Meraki Lifestyle Store and Meraki Tea House in Pondicherry. Ms. Priyam is also a co-chair entrepreneurship vertical CII IBN Puducherry for the year 2021-22. We welcome you, madam. Thank you for joining the session. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Velu. And Shrikant, always inspiring. So very lucky that I'm a part of this, because I could hear all the nice things that you had to say. Very, very inspired. I don't have too much wisdom to give to anybody, because I don't have so many years of experience like everyone on this panel does. But I have a very simple question to ask, that if everyone is going to become an entrepreneur, who is going to be the employee? Like, I really don't know that if everyone starts a business, who is going to be the employee to those businesses? So, and I can give you the flip side of both. One thing that I want to tell you is that, either be an happy employee or be a happy employer. But do not become an unhappy employee or an unhappy employer. So know that if you are really cut out for those grueling hours of work, because when you do a startup, there is a lot more that is needed than just a mindset. You need a good family backup, you need a support of your surroundings, you need an environment where you can think right, where you need to keep everything in place so that you can go out there and work and give it your best shot. So today, Sachin Tendulkar would not have been Sachin Tendulkar if he had a fighting wife back home or had children to take care of, or anything. So it's basically an entire environment that works for you, which makes you an entrepreneur. So I think that is extremely important. I can only give you a case study of myself, where how I started and how I stand where I do. I hope you find something to take back from that. So I started I am a student of brand communications and media. I went on to do my master's from St. Xavier's, Bombay. After which I thought that I would get a great job because St. Xavier's, Bombay was the best college for communications. But starting salary was like 15-20,000 in a city like Bombay. You can't survive that because 15-20,000, you won't even get a flat for that price if you had to live there. So my parents said, just come back home. You don't need to do a job. And I was actually not getting a job. So then I came back home and I was really demotivated. I didn't know what to do. My parents weren't of the opinion that I should do any work at all because you don't need to. You're born with a silver spoon, so you don't need to do anything. Just sit back. But I said, okay, let me just give this agency a try, which is next door, which is next to home. So I went there and they gave me a job for 8,000 rupees. It was a 5-people agency and working, they had just started. So I thought, okay, let me give it a shot. It's next door. What have I got to lose? I'm not doing anything anyway. So I went there and to my luck and the luck of my boss, the company started growing exponentially after that. So from a 5-member team, in 3 years, we became a 50-member team, which is huge for an agency. And we were primarily working for Tata Steel and a little bit for ITC, but Tata Steel was the main client that we were working for. So we were doing all their brand communications. Why I'm telling you this is because that job taught me a lot because I was interacting with so many people. I was meeting, I was traveling in India, I was traveling across the world. I covered about 20 countries in those 8 years of me being a part of that team. Eventually also got an offer to join Tata Steel and be a part of their communications team. So life was good. From an 8,000 rupee salary at the age 22, I went to a 2 lakh salary at the age 25. It wasn't easy. I was working for 16 to 18 hours a day. There were times I was not going home. I was in office. My mom was sending me my clothes, my food, and I was just staying in office. I think that was the worst thing I did to myself. It kept me on a high because, I was like the star employee. I was doing everything right, but it ruined my health completely. Like it was the worst thing I could do to myself. I realized that when I got married and I fell in love and I came to Pondi. And obviously the job was gone. But luckily there were times when they still got back to me and they said, why don't you freelance? Because we need you on that team again. So I started freelancing and I realized that this wasn't happening because I had become such a workaholic. I was only working and I didn't want that life for myself. So I thought that, okay, now that I'm in Pondi, let's see what Pondi has to offer. So I was just trying to fill a void. So when I came to Pondi, I realized that there is a dearth of North Indian snacks in Pondi. Nobody is doing that. So why not start with, the basic North Indian roadside food like, the pav bhajis and the parathas and stuff like that. So I started a vegetarian cafe without having any knowledge of cafe. I mean, trust me, I couldn't even make tea when I started my cafe. But I knew that I had to source the right people. And there was a fun problem. I didn't have funds. I had only my 3-year savings of my salaries. Of course, I had a husband who would happily back me. I had a father-in-law who would very happily back me and just say, take it, go do it. But I didn't want to because I knew that if I took that money from family, it's not going to give me seriousness because there won't be any pressure to return that money. So I went ahead and I went to a guy who said, okay, I'm going to lend you money, but I'm going to lend you money at 35% interest. And I said, okay, I mean, I'll take it, which is, by the way, the worst decision. Like, never do that. It was a mistake, which worked in my favor and everything sorted out, but never take money on loan at such high interest rates. So I thought, okay, now that this cafe has started, any food business starts at least 2 to 3 years to take off. I thought, okay, now what do I do to pay off that money sooner? So I said, okay, let me get back to Tata Steel, do some more communications and work for them, and then maybe I can earn faster and, pay off that loan. So within 2 years, thankfully, I paid off everything that I'd taken, and I'm very proud of that because at 25, 28, if I could do it, I was happy with what I was doing. But when my cafe started and it took off, it did fairly well. I hit a plateau because I thought there's only so much food people will eat, and there are only so many chairs that I have, so I can't grow beyond this. I don't know what to do. So I made an organic expansion where I opened a North Indian restaurant which serves proper North Indian, Punjabi food. So that was my second business, and it all grew organically. It was all systematic, and I didn't have to plan anything. I didn't have to do an MBA to understand. I didn't have to overanalyze. I didn't have to hire a great deal of professionals to help me this. It just grew organically. I just did what people wanted. I just tried to fill in the voids. Now my dhaba also reached a plateau where I thought that, okay, people are already eating that food. I have so many chairs. I can't go beyond this. So what do I do? Then I thought that, okay, let me get into a mid-segment designer collection where, I'll be selling clothes for like 2,000 to 20,000 rupees, which is mid-segment. And for tourists, I mean, let's do this for tourists. So I opened a multi-designer store, which is called Merathi. And side by side, because it was a big space, I also opened a tea house with it. So yeah, this has been my journey. And I can tell you this, that the only thing that has always kept me motivated is to be consistent and to be a good boss. I think that is extremely important. And I can tell you this, that you do not have to be an entrepreneur if you have a great boss. So please do look out. And very important is, first few years of your life, please do not burn your hands in being an entrepreneur. Please go out there, get a job. Get a job first. See how it goes for you. See the world, experience people, because more than anything, no matter what you're doing, what is important is that you understand how people function. Everyone functions differently. You can have a great boss, but a horrible colleague. You can have a horrible boss, but a great colleague, whatever. It was differently for different people, but my strong takeaway from my last 12, 13 years of work life has been that till you don't go out there and do a job and see the world, you cannot understand people and you cannot start business. So don't be in a rush to start with something. There is no age to start a business. So just start when you think you're ready to start. Experience world, absorb whatever you can get. Learn from people who attend such sessions. They are very inspiring. I mean, I know that when I was in the corporate field, I have seen so many speakers and, it is very, very inspiring. And you don't know what will hit a chord. Maybe Bill Gates cannot hit a chord for you, but maybe a guy next door can hit a chord. You don't know what will inspire you. So be open and absorb things and just take it easy. There is no rush. I think you all are very young to start worrying about what the future will hold. Right now, enjoy the moment. Take up jobs, experience life, experience bad bosses and good bosses, and then be your own boss. That is my only takeaway from this. Give away to this. So I hope you find something to understand and think about. That's it. That's all for me.
Thank you, Ms. Priyam. Really, really outstanding. Very, very inspiring. In fact, I picked up quite a lot of words from what you've said. I think many successful entrepreneurs have done this, filling the void. I think there is always a need for something in a society. I think understanding the need and working towards that should be the simplest knack that we should make. And I think you've talked about that first explore the world, do a job, and then do something when you're ready. You don't need to be an entrepreneur just after college. I think Of course, you spoke a lot of things. I'm sure the students have picked up quite a lot of things. So actually, before I introduce the next speaker, I would like to just tell a story. Of course, this is from Mahabharata. Okay. So of course, we are bombarding with a lot of knowledge today. I really don't know what is getting into your head. Just maybe listen to the story for a minute. The war was over. The Kurukshetra war was over, and Krishna and Arjuna, they were actually walking on the riverside. Okay, so casually Arjuna was asking Krishna, you talked about Bhagavad Gita. It was very, very nice. Can you please tell that once again? Okay, so this is what Arjuna told Krishna, and Krishna very clearly said that if you have listened to that carefully, that will definitely be there in your mind somewhere, and the wisdom will help you whenever it is required. Okay, so I think that was the single message which Krishna had given on that day. So here, what you're listening here is the way I'm just be attentive to the session. You will hear quite a lot of things. I think Mr. Srikanth, Mr. Syed, Ms. Priyam, I think whatever they've said is all quite a lot of experience. We have more than 100 years of experience talking here. So you will not be able to appreciate or understand all of that because you have not experienced that. But just listening to what they are saying will make a good difference. And I'm sure you will find something striking a chord somewhere, maybe sometime when it is useful, you will be able to apply some of the basics which they talked about. In fact, I would also like to talk about what Mr. Ramachandran started with. Of course, the variety in learning is important. Engineering is not about only learning thermodynamics, thermal engineering, electrical engineering and stuff. Okay, of course, I know we have eight subjects per semester into 4 years. I know that. But point is, if you have variety in your learning, it will be good. I think you are all very fortunate to have your college organizing such events and take the most out of it. And with this, I would request, I'll introduce our next speaker, Dr. Surinder sir. Dr. Surinder sir is our Vice Chairman for CII Puducherry and Director for Flavors India Private Limited. Dr. Surinder holds MA from Annamalai University and MPhil from Jawaharlal Nehru Institute, New Delhi, and he is also a PhD from International Institute for Population Science, Mumbai. He has published over 40 research papers in leading national and international journals on demography. Also has worked as lecturer in the International Institute for Population Science, Mumbai from 1993 to 1998. So he has an academic experience as well. Currently, he is running a successful business of exports of flavors and food additives from Puducherry to various countries across the globe. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Surinder. Thank you for joining the session. Over to you.
Good morning to all of you. Thanks, Mr. Velu, Mr. Syed, for bringing me here to this program. I'll be adding one more thing in my biodata. My schooling is also from St. Joseph's Higher Secondary School, Kadalur, where Ramachandran chairman was there. So I am very, very nice. And I'm also very happy to join in this young group in the sense like I'll be learning more. I'll be learning more from these eminent speakers so that we become much more younger. Thanks a lot. And one thing I would like to say is like English word, which is definitely disliked by our students is advice. So all our speakers, I think mostly will be sharing our views and thoughts and not an advice. But I also strongly feel that learning from others' mistakes is the safest and shortest route to proceed towards our dreams. Just would like to give you a few highlights of entrepreneurship. Like as of June 2021, 50,000 new startups have been recognized by the government of India, which is a very good news. And we also feel that India is going to have the world's largest workforce in 2027. Again, this is going to be a great change for all our Indians. And another survey I would like to highlight is 83% of our Indian workforce would like to be an entrepreneur. And world's average is only 53%. So I am sure that Indians, we are going to do a great job in future. And I also feel very strongly that startups headed by women is only 9%, which is steadily increasing. And many studies very clearly shown that women entrepreneurs are doing much better than the male counterparts, basically on 2-3 aspects. They say they are able to manage the time very well between the work and home. And of course, they are able to organize things very well. So these two things they have pointed out, they are able to do very well than the male businessman. And as Abdul Kalam says, like, we were born with wings, so don't crawl, learn to use them and fly. And we also see in the beginning, like, why entrepreneur to be from the engineering. Happy to share that highest share of startup founders are from engineering backgrounds, sir. So I'm sure many more entrepreneurs are all going to come from this group. So, and many studies are also shown that those who have gained experience before their business, they have done very well. And I'm sure that we can choose anything which is unique, even if it is small in size, like Salt and Pepper look by actor Ajit in the movie Mangata, which was a super hit. So let us make things happen. At least we'll start making one move every day. So that's what I think the magic words of our martial arts, Bruce Lee says. And everyone will have different views, different ideas. Only the problem is of execution. How well we are going to execute is the matter. So in the past, we used to have in the business circle, survival of the fittest. That is used to be the common thing. Now it has become like survival of the quickest. So we have to act fast. So as Walt Disney says, normally it mentions that start doing. So this is what makes the difference. Please understand that the problems of entrepreneurs are quite different from each other. There is no standard solutions for each of our problems. Once you enter into it, definitely you will be having your own answers to these problems. Coming to my business insights. So my this thing is completely out of business till the age of 1990, till the year of 1992. As Srikanth was clearly mentioning, my father-in-law was a businessman. So my wife was the only daughter of him. And we were settled in Bombay till 92 after marriage. I don't want to come to business. So that was the first mistake I have done when it was asked whether I'm interested to come to business. It's a family business. But I said no, because since academic, I looked very bright from this side. So I was there in Bombay up to 92 to 98 after studies and work, everything. So 98, suddenly my father-in-law passed away. So I had to come back to Pondicherry, and then I have to take a decision whether I should go for a job, continue the job, or take out the business. I could see 60 families in my company working for us. So that came up to my mind. I said, okay, bye to Bombay and my work. I will take care of them. So without knowing anything, ABCD of business, I jumped into the business. Myself and my life partner, both of them, we jumped into the business without knowing anything, ABCD, nothing. We had an business terms, marketing, or anything of accounting skills, nothing of that. So only thing is I had a little bit of confidence. That is that earlier Tamil writer Sujata used to say that try everything once at least. So that keeps motivating me, keep learning many things, even from my workers, because I have to be the boss of a company without knowing anything. So that is the toughest thing. So I had wonderful workers and staff who supported me that time. So I learned from them basically, and the trust, that was the best part in the, because they did not get trust from me in the initial stage, because how I'll be, whether I'll go back to Bombay or not, or whether I'll sell the company and go back to creating, not only with the staff, but also with our suppliers. It was a tough decision, because as you know, the competitors usually say that quality is gone, a new company head has come. So we have to take over all these issues with the support of our staff and workers. Now, of course, I've just crossed 23 years in business. Just crossed kindergarten of the business, many things to learning from my distinguished speakers who are here. And then as our Avayar says, katradhu kaiman alavu kallalavu ulagalavu abdin solluvaanga. So definitely that is the most important thing for me. And I just want to say, if you have a family business, please try to learn something at your younger age, like what Mr. Srikanth was clearly mentioning. Whatever it is, you start learning. So because they are our best mentors. So I have missed all those mentors in my life when I entered into business. So let us don't miss that. If you have a family business, whether it's a small or big, try to be a part of it. Whenever there is an emergency situation, definitely you will come and you can do wonders. And basically, I just thought I'll give you a few guidelines, a few things for a businessman or an entrepreneurship. One is adequate market research. Definitely that is needed before going for any business model. Second thing is what we thought is, don't try to scale up your business at a very early age. Try one by one. Let us go slowly, identify your issues, come up, and then slowly try to expand. So let us start very slowly. And second thing is ready to face challenges and negative comments surrounding you. இதெல்லாம் உனக்கு தேவையா, நீ என்ன பெரிய இன்ஃபோசிஸ் நாராயணசாமி ஆயிடுவியா, இதெல்லாம் வந்து காமனா வரக்கூடிய இது வந்து நம்மளால முடியாது. So please ignore all those things. Yes, I can should be your magic words, I think. So money alone, I think it is not everything in life. Initially, of course, yes. But then if you give a job to a person and his family is being elevated, that satisfaction you get in entrepreneurship is something unimaginable. So that definitely you will come to know. And another thing is, try to learn a language, additional language. Of course, this is nothing to do with politics. I faced a lot of problem of not having Hindi when I went to Delhi and Bombay. When I went to a hotel, when I asked for salt, they didn't know. So they asked me in so many ways. I tried to ask him. He couldn't say anything. Then he asked, it's namakka abdinar. And I said, namakilla pa, enakku pa abdinar. So even that common word of salt, we had a tough time. So definitely after learning that language, I think my business grew definitely, because I am able to contact my North Indian suppliers and manufacturers and my customers very well in their own language. So any language, I think that language helps me a lot. And have more friends. That's what I feel, because they can be your future suppliers, they can be your future customers, and have a good network. And to be very precise, I've just made a word called prime. Which is very much essential for an entrepreneurship. Prime is not, I'm talking about Prime Video, which is very much important also in this COVID time, but I'm talking about the word prime. P stands for patient, and R for research, I for innovation, M for mentor identification, that what Mr. Srikanth was also talking about, and E for execution. So these 5 things: patient, research, innovation, mentor, identification, and execution. These are the 5 things which are very much important. And before closing, I would like to say that each one of us are unique in our own way. So just identify your talents, sharpen it, and think differently. Success is yours. Nama Misakara Bharadin Athurkar. So finally he used to say, பல பேர் நம்மளை விழுந்துருவாங்கன்னு நினைப்பாங்க. So அது வந்து நடக்கக்கூடாது. So we have to come up in life. You all have to be necessary to move forward. And with these few words, and thanks, Mr. Velu, for giving an opportunity. All the best for the students. Thank you, sir.
Actually, only thing I can say is that whether the students are learning or not, I am personally learning with all the experiences and everything what you people are sharing. So when we actually wanted to craft this program, so we really don't know how to start actually. In fact, I was telling the principal and our esteemed panelists that let's not have presentation. Okay, I think that's what we wanted to see, because we wanted to see and talk. Okay, that's something we finalized. And then we said, okay, let's have a small experience sharing. And I said that all the speakers were saying that, we have not done this model. What will I say? I think you have, everything is in you. So you have to just talk. I think once you start, it will come. So I think everyone, we agreed of 5 to 7 minutes kind of a time. I think you can see everyone is just, wisdom is pouring. Really, thank you. Hearing each and everyone. I'm writing a lot of notes myself. I hope the students are also doing that. And really, it's finding it very, very useful to listen to all of that. In fact, before doing this, I was actually, my focus is all the students whose face I'm not able to see. I was asking my kids, in fact, the elder one is going to college this year. So I was asking, okay, today I'm going to do a program like this. It's a virtual mode. If you had been in that session, what would have been your expectation? Virtual, yeah, virtual. Virtual work. I don't think it's going to work. Now I have to just keep the students engaged. I have to just make them engaged. I said, work. So normally, because we have been doing this virtual stuff for almost 1.5 years now, so we know how the virtual stuff works. Because when you see people and talk, if we do everything virtually, when the camera is up, it becomes even more tough to kind of engage. I really don't know how many people are engaged. So that is the reason I'm trying to kind of ask a lot of questions and stuff. In fact, I remember one video which I saw in Kalyanamalai. I don't know, with due respect to all the speakers, I'm just going to play that for a 30 second, with no offense to anyone, but I just wanted to kind of play that. Let me know if you are able to see the screen.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Of course, again, I'm saying no offense to any speakers. It's just what I saw in Kalyanamalai.
Training video mute பண்ணிட்டான், ஆடியோ மியூட் பண்ணி. நான் உயிரை கொடுத்த மோட்டிவேஷனல் ஸ்பீச் பேசிட்டு இருக்கிறேன். அவங்க அம்மா வந்துட்டு இருக்காங்க. அவங்க பேசுறது மட்டும் நல்லா கேக்குது. தோசையை கொண்டு வந்து வச்சுட்டு இருக்காங்க. அந்த பையன் என்ன பண்ணிருக்கான், லேப்டாப் முன்னாடி தூங்குறான். அவங்க அம்மா சொல்றாங்க, ஏன்டா டேய் அங்க ஒருத்தன் கத்திட்டு கிடக்குறான், யார் நானு, ஒருத்தர் தொண்டை வெளியே கத்திட்டு கிடக்குறான், அதுக்காகவாது முழிச்சு பாடுறா அப்படின்னா, பையன் சொல்றாமா, என் காலேஜுக்கு வேலையே இல்லம்மா, விடிய காலத்துல 9 மணிக்குலாம் இது மாதிரி செஷன் வைக்கிறானுங்க, அட்டெண்டன்ஸ் போட்டு நம்ம பாட்டு உட்காந்துருக்கோம், இதெல்லாம் கேட்க.
With no offense, I of course just on a lighter vein, please take it. I really found it very interesting when I saw this. Okay, so with this, I would now call upon our last speaker, Mr. Nandakumar, our experienced person. So in fact, 30 plus years of experience Mr. Nandakumar has. So Mr. Nandakumar has been the past chairman of CII Puducherry and joint managing director of Lebrax Rubber Linings Private Limited. Mr. Nandakumar is a first generation entrepreneur with experience of over 3 decades. Of course, if you take into consideration his work ex, it's close to 4 decades. So that's what he told me a couple of days back. He has developed expertise in all aspects of corporate management and has been a successful in his company, becoming a leader in the Indian industry. He has traveled extensively in India and overseas. Mr. Nandakumar is an alumni of Loyola College, Chennai, and he is a qualified accountant and trainer in the ISO 9000 quality management system. He is also the convener of MSME panel during their 2014-2015 and 2016-2017. And Mr. Nandakumar was the chairman of CII Puducherry for the year 2018-2019. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining this session. Over to you.
Yeah, sorry. Good morning. Sorry, can you hear me? There was some problem. I had to ask the host to unmute me. Good morning to my fellow participants. Good morning to the CII members, the faculty and the staff, and the students of Venkateshwaraa Engineering College. Thank you, Mr. Velu, for that wonderful introduction. Yeah, as you said, I have around 40 years experience, and probably age-wise and experience-wise, I'm the senior most in the panel. So you have given me this unique honor of being the last. Having said that, our opening batsman has completed most of what I have to speak, because Srikanth has run probably the same innings which I have had. And added to that, Priyam also has said a few words. But as I look back, and since we have a lot of youngsters here, I did start my career way back in 1981-82 as an employee. I really did not know why I started working with some company, but as a chartered accountant, The only one thing I realized after finishing my CII is I don't want to be an auditor. I did not like what the audit profession was doing at that point of time. I'm talking of the 80s. No offense to any auditor today, but the life then was different. And I jumped into manufacturing. I started as a cashier and I became the managing director in 6 years of the company, which was the third largest company in its field in those days. Success was very fast, traveled all around India. I got huge experience in manufacturing, project management, apart from finance and commercial. One fine day, I had a disagreement with the owner of the company. And since obviously it was his money and his company, I decided to quit and I jumped out and became an entrepreneur. This was sometime in 1986, 87. Of course, it took me a year to establish myself and then I started this journey. Basically, the entrepreneurial journey starts sometime in the early 90s. It was much different from what it is today. I think it was much easier. Shrikant, probably your dad must have started at that time. Life was much, much easier. It was very easy for us as a small scale unit to start a business. The government was extremely supportive. The banks and financial institutions used to go out of the way to support you. We really did not have to give much collateral. It was more on trust, and you didn't have to sell a dream. They trusted you, and you could, grow easily with money available. Those were the days when small scale industries, it was called SSIs, not MSME, it was the SSI time, small scale units. The government gave excise concessions, you had sales tax benefits. So big companies used to want small scale industries to support them because of cost saving. We did not have excise duty. So over a period of 5-6 years, I think a huge ecosystem of SSI units came up. Some were healthy, some were unhealthy because many companies used to, cross the 15 lakhs, start a new company and continue it. While there was actually no value addition, but the concept was very simple. The government was encouraging the SSIs. It was a very good time. And up to 1990s, it was excellent. After that, the roller coaster started for an entrepreneur. Decline started, I think, in the early 2000s in the Indian economy of SSI. I'm just talking about entrepreneurship. The government started, you had this dot-com bubble. The dot-com bubble burst. There was a lot of financial frauds in the banking system and suddenly money was not available. Being an SSI became very difficult. Small was no longer beautiful. It became very difficult because everything became tough, and unless you really had saved your money, it was difficult to be an industrialist at that time in the SSI. I remember in the mid 1990s, I was doing very well and I wanted to go for my first IPO, a 4 crores IPO, big money those days for a small company. And then the stock market scam came. I think for people who are slightly older, you will remember Harshad Mehta. So the Harshad Mehta scam came and there went my dream of being the first IPO. After that, again, the 90s was a bit difficult year because we had the Kargil war. And in the Kargil war, my first project went for a 6. We lost a couple of crores of rupees. That was also big money. After that, of course, I think things improved. Government stepped in until we had this 3G scam and coal scam. It was quite a good sailing, and the last decade has been excellent. Especially the last 3 years has been superb. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this that entrepreneurship is not just your own talent or your own idea. You need the ecosystem. You may have a wonderful idea, you may have a wonderful product, you may have the money, but if the ecosystem around you, whether it's the government, whether it is the, like a pandemic today, if the ecosystem does not support you, you cannot succeed. We've heard many times people say this, it was a great idea, but it was ahead of its time. And that's the problem with entrepreneurship. You may have an idea, you may know how to execute it, but unfortunately, if the ecosystem is not supporting you, you have a problem. In my case, what happened was because I worked for 7-8 years, and like exactly Shrikant said, before we started the business, we knew exactly what we were doing. We were not worried about the sales tax. We were not worried about excise duty. We were not worried about the banks. We knew exactly how to handle them. He got his training from his father. I got mine from the owner of another company. But the some result was that you had the confidence to start your entrepreneurship. So for those young entrepreneurs who are starting off, let me tell you, first thing, you need to have your confidence. Believe in yourself, have the confidence, and for God's sake, please work somewhere. Work either, like even Suri has said the same thing, please work for somebody before you plunge into entrepreneurship, whether it's startuppreneurs or entrepreneur. Okay, today we have the mentor-mentee. Even that, I think, is not enough, like working for somebody. Because I work for somebody, I know what it means to pay a salary. I know what it means when the first week of the month, my employee gets a salary. If I did not know that and I don't pay the salaries, I do not know how they suffer. So if you work for somebody, you value the employee much more than you would if you do not know what an employee is. So before starting up, please work. That's my first message to all of you. And please have confidence. Having said that, grass is always greener on the side. When I see Syed and I see Velu, sometimes I wish 30 years back I had joined the corporate world. I do not know whether we would have been in the same position that you are or whether I would have been happy. So grass is always greener, Velu. You mentioned this in your beginning, in opening remarks. So while sitting here, we think you are lucky. While sitting there, you think we are lucky. As far as we are concerned, the buck stops with us. You may have 3,000 crores, but the buck doesn't stop with you. You can always go back to your board. You've always got people to help you. Well, as for Shrikant and me and Suri and others, the buck stops with us. If you don't have money, we have only ourselves to blame. The mantra I have for the youngsters here is probably the 3 P's: passion, patience, and profit. You need passion to start entrepreneurship, the drive to do something different. This is what makes an entrepreneur. To say that nothing is impossible, even in different times. If you say something is difficult, please do not even think of being an entrepreneur. You will have challenges. The more challenges you have, the better it is. Compare yourself to the aircraft taking off. Aircrafts always take off into the headwind. They never take off with the wind behind them.
Recording stopped.
You have to face the challenges, only then will you grow. Even after 30 years of being an entrepreneur, 40 years of working, I still wake up today morning wanting to go to office. In fact, the last 1 year, I always fight with my wife and she says, don't go to work. It's a pandemic. I say, I have to go to office. I love coming to work. I still have the passion to go around the factory. I still have the passion to talk to the customers. I still get excited when I get new orders from a new company. Passion should never stop at any age. Then only you are a true entrepreneur. And one thing, don't think of retirement. We do not have 58 or 60. You start as an entrepreneur, you continue till you hang up your boots. It's like they say about the chartered accountants. Chartered accountants never die, they just fade away. An entrepreneur never retires, he just backs off. So entrepreneurship is for life. The next thing is patience. I think a few speakers before me also said the same thing. A lot of people today want to be a multi-crore company in 2 years, value it, sell it, and say, I made my profit. You are a businessman, you're not an entrepreneur. If you are an entrepreneur, you must have the patience to build your product, build your dream, make the dream into a reality, and hand it over to somebody who still feels it's his dream. If you sell that, it's no longer a dream, it was just a business. So please have the patience, build your business brick by brick, take the satisfaction of the profit which you have made in it. The last P is, of course, because I have the blood of the chartered accountant in me, is profit. A fool and his money are easily parted. I think all of you have heard it. It's very easy to lose money. Before you know, you can burn through your capital. Before you know, you will be on the streets. Yes, 1 or 2 years, you need to spend money, whether it's marketing, whether it is development. You need to spend that money, but that's capital expense. Do not burn money. Do not burn money by having extra employees, going on marketing binges. Keep a target for when you will break even. Entrepreneur should know how much value he has in the product. Is the product going to sell? There is a date at which you have to say, yes, my product will not sell. At that date, you have to close and cut your losses. There's nothing as free money. I think Shrikant also mentioned this. All this is because we started very small and started with our own money. There's nothing like a free money. Money is costly. The most costly money is your own money. Your own capital is the costliest capital. Always believe in that. Try and keep that safe and know when to exit. That's the most important thing. Don't burn through your money. Know when to exit. And again, like Shrikant said, banks will stand in front of you and say, take this money. Take exactly what you want. Don't take what they give you. Keep the money which you need. Spend that money which you need. You may get unlimited credit, but that's only dangerous. It costs money. You have to repay it. It's never your money. So don't burn the money. End of the day, cash count your profit. When I say end of the day, it could be monthly, quarterly, yearly. Take your cash profit. Don't worry about the P&L. See your plus and minus. See if you're earning cash. If you're earning cash, keep some, spend the rest, continue forward. To answer Preetham's one question, she said, if all of us become entrepreneurs, who will be the employer? I don't know. This question came to me a couple of years ago. Is it better for India to have 3 companies of 5,000 crores turnover or to have 5,000 companies of 3 crores turnover each? I have thought about this many times and I still don't know the answer. Both are good for the economy, but in my opinion, I still feel that 5,000 companies of 3 crores each will definitely help the economy, give more employment, give more business. Anyway, this is a question which can always be talked about. Lastly, hard work pays. You need to be working hard to be an entrepreneur. Work hard, but party harder. I think Suri said the same thing. Work hard, party harder, have an hobby, have a social life. Business is not the beginning and the end all. Always make sure that the work-life balance is there. As entrepreneurs, we tend to get carried away, and by the time we are ready to party, there's nobody to party with. So you need to enjoy what you're doing. You need to enjoy your life in the company and life outside. I also like to add to what Shrikant said. Meet your friends. He talked of football in Italy. I used to talk of Formula One motor racing in Europe. The best way to connect for us is over sports and a drink. Be social. Meet people wherever you go. Travel the world. The biggest problem of people in Pondicherry, not only those of you are listening, but we interview many students every year, is that nobody has left Pondicherry. Everybody is scared to go to Pondicherry. Please travel. And not only to France, please travel to other parts of India. I know 7 languages, so Suri, I didn't have the problem you had. But knowing a language definitely is important. Travel, see the world, work hard, enjoy yourself. Thank you very much.
Actually, we reserved our best for the last. So, yeah, very well done, sir. Wonderful wisdom you have shared. I think quite a lot of things I picked up. In fact, personally, I'm really happy to be part of the session. In fact, I started that in the beginning, but I really mean it. I think personally, I picked up quite a lot of things. In fact, if you look at all the 4 speakers that they have said, some of the things are common. Okay, so I think keep learning, keep learning new things which is beyond your normal routine. I think that's something important. Be it understanding something extra, be it understanding a new language. I think all of that definitely helps. So all of you engineers for students here, I think try to kind of do this. I think learning doesn't stop. There is no age for it. You may see all of us are having gray hairs, but even today, I kind of ensure that I enroll to a Coursera course or I think some certifications every year. So even today, I do it. I make it a point to learn every year. And in fact, last year in the pandemic time, I was wondering what is that I'm going to do differently. So I think I said, okay, let me do a book a week. Normally, I'm not I do book a month or maybe one book every 6 months or so. So last year, I took a very ambitious target of doing a book a week. And so book a week, of course, a 30-page also can be a book. So I put a standard for it. So book a week is nothing but an average of 300 pages. So I roughly around 15,000 pages was something I was supposed to do. I've never done it. I have never done it in my life. I think such a big target, but really happy that I did 56 books last year, around some 15,340 pages last year. Of course, variety of books. In fact, I could connect to my kids more because I did Harry Potter or Chetan Bhagat, the entire series of all these people. So, and of course, the good thing is that last year, of course, the pandemic was slightly low, and the book fair, I actually picked up some more books. In fact, what I did is that I actually, once I read the book, I actually stack it and I see how much tall it grows. In fact, it came up to my shoulder. I feels good. I have a photograph with that. Okay, so in fact, this year also I again bought books, some 80 odd books we kept. I am definitely not going to complete in 1 year. Maybe even if I do it in 2 or 3 years, it will be good. So what I'm trying to tell is that anything new is good. Okay, anything new will keep you young. I think you really have to kind of find what is good. I'm sure all the 4 speakers with 100 plus years of experience have given variety of experience. I'm sure some of them you would have picked up. And now I request you to just, of course, we have a couple of minutes. I know we started 5-10 minutes late. If there are some questions which any students may have, maybe the speakers can address. Principal sir, are there any questions which the students are having?
Yes, sir. Hopefully, our students will be asking questions either through this chat mode or else if they can open up their mic, they can speak. I hope so. We are waiting for them to raise their hands so that we can open up the mic, or else they can even ask the questions in chat box so that we can also pick it up and we can share it to the speakers so that they can address about the questions that has been asked, sir.
Yeah, so let them start. Maybe before that, I'll just quickly play a 1-minute video. In the meantime, I would request the students to put up questions. I know it's a Saturday, maybe 5-10 minutes extra should be okay. The speakers, and it should be okay. Yeah, so I'm taking silence as granted, so I'm just going ahead.
When the pandemic hit in 2020, many traditional businesses and large companies were affected, but it is the startups that have not only survived but thrived during these times. Every year, billions of dollars are being invested into startups, leading to billions in valuation. Startups are not only engines of job creation, but offer lucrative salaries and high-growth opportunities to young professionals. Startups such as Netflix, Uber, and Airbnb have gone on to become big companies and have employed a large global workforce. In an age where the old models are being replaced by new ones, it calls for the need to develop an agile workforce with an entrepreneurial mindset, a workforce which is ready to deal with change, innovation, and disruption. Some of the most successful individuals in this world, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, have one thing in common: an entrepreneurial mindset. The entrepreneurial mindset is a certain way of thinking. It's about learning to embrace change rather than running away from it. If you want to have the entrepreneurial mindset, it is very essential for you to think and act like an entrepreneur. Being entrepreneurial and being an entrepreneur are two different things. One does not have to be an entrepreneur to solve problems, but can be entrepreneurial in finding solutions. Remember, A, B, C, D, E. Anybody can do entrepreneurship. It's time to take control of your future. It's time to think like an entrepreneur. It's time to become a startup-preneur.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so I think that was just a trivia. I hope you got some idea to inspire you. I have a couple of questions. Let me just read out. Any panelist can take it. Which time period of life one can start thinking about being an entrepreneur? I think I know some of the speakers have spoken, but maybe to give more clarity. Anyone? The question is from Stephen.
Stephen, yes. Yes, Stephen. As we all said, there's really nothing that you can say that as an age, but it's good to start young. I would say it's good to start young because the reason is you will find when you're in college, you are rebellious. You want to bring change. I would like the society to change. I would like to change the environment. I would like a cleaner environment. All this you think of till about 30. And then, you get married and then things settle down. You start mellowing down. I find, even when I hire people, I like to hire people between 30 and 40. They're much mellowed, you know. And then, wisdom comes in and you start to reduce your risks. Today, actually, I am much more scared than I was when I was young. I would have been a far better risk taker in my early 20s or early 30s than today. Very few people, I would say, with age take more risks because we tend to think of all the pitfalls and the pros and cons and all that. But when you're young, you just go for it. And there's nothing wrong to go for it. Of course, with the applied, you apply your mind and then go for it. But you are ready to take the challenge head on. So I think it's good to start young. And as young as, I would say, yeah, why not just after college or in college? But yes, a good work experience can help. Something which we are missing in today's academics is internship, serious internship. We get attendance internship, but I'm saying serious internship. Your summer holidays being spent in an organization where at least you will learn what is a company. I mean, what does a company do? Unless you have your own exposure in your family business, very few people may even know what a company does or what all has to be done to form a company or to run a company. So for that, some place you have to work. But I think when you're young, in your 20s and 30s, is the best time to be an entrepreneur, wherein you have the ability to take more risks. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, sir. So there is a question from Kirti. Is MBA degree essential for an entrepreneur? Priyam, madam, you can take this.
So is an MBA important? Yes and no. I think an MBA is important if you're going for a job. It helps you get better jobs because, yes, I mean, that's the way the society works. That's the way individuals are weighed, at least initially. But does an MBA help you become a successful entrepreneur? I don't think so. It doesn't harm you, but it doesn't add so much value because when you become, I mean, I think differently because I think my MBA friends are overanalyze. They just see the wrongs too much than seeing the rights. When you don't know, you suddenly just take the dive and you plunge in. But when you know too much, you become a scared rat and you don't want to do things because most of your time goes into planning and doing things. But I think hands-on work is a different ballgame altogether. So no MBA degree can teach you how to become an entrepreneur. That's my thinking.
Thank you, madam. I think very aptly said. I hope, Kirti, you got the answer. Vinoda, there is a question from Vinoda. How to improve my confidence to become an entrepreneur? Doctor, you can take this question.
Yeah. It's a very, very difficult question to answer because the confidence level, I think it's different from people to people. So I take the confidence from my parents. No other third person is needed. So my mother, even without vegetables, she is able to prepare a good sambar. So that is her confidence level. So my father, without much of salary, he makes us feel happy. That is the biggest confidence I got it from him. I think confidence is within our parents, our friends and relatives. It's not the third person who will help us to be confident. So look around. I think all confident people are with us. So definitely we'll make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. There is one question from Dhanagandhara Jairam. What we have to focus to reach the break-even analysis in estimated period of time? Nandakumar sir, can you just take this question? What we have to focus to reach the break-even analysis? Mr. Srikanth, you can take the question. What we have to focus to reach the break-even analysis in an estimated time?
Yeah, just to give you a small on this, often, if we have found, for example, people who have an idea or a product, he starts to, he has to understand his strengths, first of all. A lot of failures, I would give you as an example. What happens is he's very good at producing the product.
I can't answer.
But then, he may not, what happens is when he starts, none of the suppliers gives him credit or, supplies him raw material at credit. And all the customers want credit. So his focus from producing becomes financing. So he goes from bank to bank and customer to supplier, arranging material, and he loses his focus. So this is what I'm trying to say. I think your focus should be, you should have your systems in place. That should be your focus, I feel. You have that, then you would be able to deliver your strengths. If you have been a manufacturing person, then that would be your strength, and you play with that strength. If you're a finance person, I think you should use that strength, play with that strength. So that would automatically help you in reaching your break even. Do not try to do the other things as much. Try doing what you are very good at. I think that helps. This is something, try to keep it simple. This is another thing which we need. Don't make things complicated. Make it very simple. Initially, I found my days of when I had only 50, 60 people, and today we are close to about 700, 800. Things are so different. I love the way we work when we have 50 or 60 people. Even today, I tried to make a point to know everybody by first name, but those days were so easy. We had a lot of fun working because we had it very simple. Today, for 600 to 700, we need to have a lot of complicated systems in place. I know how it is in a big organization. And that was the biggest change for us also, from a small company to a big company. That itself was a challenge. But I would say keep it simple, focus on your strengths. And if you're a manufacturing operations man, focus on that. If you're a finance man, focus on that. If you're a marketing-driven company, focus on that. I'm not saying leave the other things, but I'm saying use that to your strength. And you'll definitely succeed, and sure break even would come in soon. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I think really happy to have a couple of more questions. I know it's 12:07, but let's take these questions. There is a question from Akila. In fact, Akila has asked two questions. Priyam, you can take this. If money management and communication skills important for entrepreneur, that's one question from her. And the second question she's asking is that how to improve communication skills. Yeah, so two questions, of course, both from Akila Banu. Should I repeat the question?
Yes, please. Is money management important, and
is money management and communication skill important for entrepreneur? Yeah. And of course, the added question too is that how to improve communication skills.
So coming to the first point, is money management important? I think that is very basics of entrepreneurship. If you cannot manage your money, you cannot be an entrepreneur in the first place. How can you not manage money? It is the whole crux of the business, isn't it? You don't want to become an entrepreneur to do charity. You wanted to be an entrepreneur to first earn profits. And how you reach those profits is how you manage the money that you have as capital and where you source that capital from. So yes, money management is extremely important. If you are asking me the technical aspects of money, is accounting important, and do I need to know everything? Yes, you need to know. Whether you literally do it yourself or you get somebody external help to help you out with it is different. But your knowledge as an entrepreneur with money has to be very strong. How to improve communication skills? Well, honestly speaking, I am in Pondi for a decade now, and shamefully, I still don't speak Tamil. I do understand it, but I can't speak. And most of my employees are locals. So I have a very hard time communicating with them. And I just feel that, I can say so much to them and I want to. But, this whole translation game that happens, if I say 10 sentences, only 8 gets translated. And out of that 8, I don't even know if it's the right thing that I've said it. So, there's so much communication gap. So I think if you are an entrepreneur, it always helps to know the language. Because if you can only be a good boss when you can speak to your employees. I'm pretty sure some of my employees hate me because they think I don't talk to them. The problem is I cannot speak to them because I don't know the language. And the minute you have to step out of Pondi, this is very, very important. If you plan to do jobs outside, please brush up on your communication skills, because if Tamil is not going to be the language that is going to be common, I mean, I'm sure Mr. Velu will also agree to this because he's worked in so many different cities in North and South both. So he knows the importance of language. So whether it is, I mean, at least speak one more language beyond Tamil, which is very, very important, whether it's English, whether it's Hindi, whether it's whatever, but you need to learn a different language and be good at it, because only if you're good at communicating is when you're going to form better relationships, you're going to network well, things are going to go good for you only if you communicate.
Very true. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Velu, can I add one sentence? I'm sorry, I was on mute. I would just like to make this into an extrovert versus an introvert. What talk of communication, not probably exactly what Priyam was saying about knowing a language, but an entrepreneur should be an extrovert. He should be able to reach out, whether it's a body language, whether it's on a piece of paper or communication. That is also very critical. You may not know the language really, but you should be able to reach out to the employee, to your stakeholders, to your supplier, to your customer, in whichever language you know, and make them feel that, yes, you are friendly with them. So probably I would like to use this, that as an entrepreneur, you have to not have any barriers. You should be able to express yourself and be an extrovert. I also had this.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, that's okay. Thanks.
Okay. Of course, there are a couple of more questions. I think we'll take these 3 questions which are there. And before we close, Principal Sir, is it okay? I know we are taking more time, but let me tell you, the discussion is interesting. I am finding it interesting. The kind of questions are interesting. The answers are interesting. I think we can spend this time. So, how to handle failure? So there is a question from Sankavi. Sankavi is asking how to handle failures. Nandakumar sir, you can take this question.
Yeah, thanks, Velu. I said in my talk that nothing is impossible. And failure is the road to success. Now, failure can be in many terms. It could be that your product did not get passed, your customer rejected it. It could be that you went to a bank for a loan, the bank did not give it to you. It could be that you send a material, the customer never paid you. It could also be that you felt that you have taken too long to reach where you are. Now, these are not really failures. These are stepping stones. You learn from each failure. It's like the child growing up. Every time the child falls down, he grows up, he stands up, he keeps walking, he falls down. After some time, he doesn't fall down. He doesn't stop because he fell down and got hurt. So do not consider failure at all. Just consider it as a stepping stone to success. The critical thing is to learn from the failure. If you can learn yourself, fantastic. If you cannot, take advice. There are people who can advise you in each and every sphere of the business, whether it's marketing, finance, operations, growth, everything. So do not think of failure at all. If you want to be an entrepreneur, think of this as a stepping stone to success.
Good, sir. Thank you so much. In fact, the next question is from Ranjit. Of course, this question was answered by the speakers, but let me read the question. What are all the qualities I need to possess to become an entrepreneur? Mr. Srikanth? I know you've answered this, but Ranjit wants some clarification maybe.
Sure. First and foremost, you should need to know your purpose. For that, you need to have a vision. Then, of course, passion, as rightly said by everybody, and a very objective vision, I would say. I mean, not, I want to change the world. That's a very general statement. No, how do I do that? Be a very empathic person with empathy. Sympathy is different. Empathy is different. Very different. Please understand. Have some empathy. It will help you in business. Not only with your customers, with your suppliers and your employees and your team members. Empathy is good. You should understand the other side of the table. It's good to know, ready to accept criticism. I'm not saying being thick-headed, but I'm saying you should be a person who's ready to listen to people, and you should also be a very good communicator.
just stepping in on this communication, yes, you have to be an extrovert. One of the things that we have always found, you should be able to sell your idea, right? You have to sell your idea to your parents first. You have to sell your idea to your spouse, or you have to sell your idea to your friends. You have to sell your idea to the banks, to your customers. So you need to sell your idea or communicate your idea. So good communication is required. So good passion. And I think Mr. Suri already had given prime. You need all those. Yes, patience. You need passion. You need to innovate. You cannot go about doing what somebody else has done. That's been another pitfall of India. We tend to copy only. The Koreans did it very well. They copied the Japanese very well and improved upon it. So we just can't copy and keep quiet, but because one day we'll become obsolete. So we need to innovate. We need to come out with new products, new technology ourselves. Actually, Indian companies spend less than 0.2% on research. So I think at least academics should step in. They should start doing a lot more on research, and industry has to support. So you should have that research mentality in you. So passion, vision, be empathetic, and innovate. These are things which, and patience will come in, don't worry. It's good to be impatient in your initial years also. Only then you would drive to do your, get your business in shape and you'll get it running. I think this would more or less invest in people, invest in technologies. This would help. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Srikanth. I think really very useful. This is the last question that I'm taking. Of course, there are a couple of more questions, but we are already running behind time schedule. But last question, Suri sir, you can take this question. Can we do franchisee business?
Yeah, definitely. Why not? Like everything is having its own potential, as well as the risk part, as well as the successful portion of that. Definitely, we can try it out. I think each franchise has its own story. So we have to just fit in into this and see what best we can do it. I think just taking the franchisee alone will not make us more successful. Like what Srikanth was telling about, what are the qualities of being a businessman. So that definitely, even if you take a franchisee, say for example, the time management, whatever we do, I think definitely that is needed. Like people management, second thing. And the most important thing, what I feel is, I should know that I don't know much. So I have to learn more. I think this is what, if it is needed, I think anything, whatever we do, will come out successful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So I think a couple of more questions. I will not browse through that, but I'll just read the questions because most of it got answered before. Hanifa Bibi is asking, what key activities would you recommend entrepreneurs to invest their time in? I think this
recording
has been
stopped.
Addressed by all the speakers, Hanifa. I think invest in yourself. I
recording
think
in progress.
Understand something beyond your core curriculum, learning new language, new spectrums. I think quite a lot of things you have to do. I think you can start doing from the more you learn, better you will be equipped for facing anything which will come up once you're completing the college. And of course, there's Kirti who's asking that please give a walkthrough on loans, and is there any helping desk for loans and licenses? Don't worry, you have more time to plan for all of that. Okay, so don't worry about loans at this stage. Your time will come when you'll get all these answers. Okay. So with this,
one point on that. I know everybody is looking at loans and how. There is Atal Incubation Center at the Engineering College campus. I think your college can also help you with that. Secondly, there is also an incubation center being run by the government. I think the head of that is the Dean of the Veterinary College, Dr. Ram Kumar. It's a very good thing where you are given advice on what all kinds of government policies and things where you can go for help. So these two are areas can be a starting point for all of y'all if you have some ideas, if you wish to be anything. One is the Atal Incubation Center, and second is I'm not sure exactly know the name. I'm sure your principal knows that. He can pass it on. It's been headed by Dr. Ram Kumar, the Dean of our Veterinary College. Yeah.
Thank you for the information, sir. Actually, we have signed MOU with Atal Incubation Center in Pondicherry Engineering College. We are into that process, and we have a team who are looking after it. And we do a lot of programs so that we ideate the concept and we are trying to convert it into a marketable product. So we are in hand with Atal PECF, and thanks for the information of other organization also. We'll get back them in a near future, sir. Thank you so much.
That's called Entrepreneur Development Cell, headed by Dr. Ramkumar.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
With this, we complete our speech and session. Over to the college principal for his closing remarks.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for one and all. And it is really lucky enough, our students are lucky enough to have a live session, especially with a great successful entrepreneur to get certain ideas and motivations in their life. Just not only in the book, as rightly our dignitaries have said, that it is not much of education as well as of experience and patience and a lot of learnings is required to be a successful entrepreneur. Thanks a lot, sir. So this I now request our beloved Dean, Dr. K.P. Jayaraman, sir, Sri Venkateshwaraa College of Engineering and Technology, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Sir, kindly unmute yourself, sir.
Dean, sir?
Kindly unmute yourself, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. A very good afternoon to one and all. Respected Chairman, sir, distinguished special speakers, beloved Principal, sir, Head of the departments, faculties and students. I deem it a great honor and a privilege to propose the vote of thanks. I extend my thanks to Sri B. Ramachandran, Chairman of SVGI, for his guidance in all aspects for the welfare of the organization. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to our Managing Director, Sri R. Rajiv Krishna, sir, and Tirumadi B. Vidya Madam, Chief Operating Officer, for your nice presence. And I extend my warm thanks to our Principal, Dr. Pradeep Devanayan, for his constant effort for the CEO talks. You have made so much efforts to host this CEO talks in a well-directed manner, sir. Thank you very much for all your efforts, sir. Next, I would like to extend my thanks to Mr. Syed Sajid Ali, Mentor, Industry Institute Connect Panel, past Chairman, CII Puducherry, and Managing Director, Eton Power Quality Limited, for his excellent presence and thought-provoking speech. Convener, Industry Institute Connect Panel, CII Puducherry, and the Site Director, Hindustan Unilever Limited, for his August presence, and invoking to Dr. S. Suvender, Vice Chairman, CII Puducherry, and Director, the Flower
So I hope he has some network issues, I think so. Let me close the session, sir. Sorry for the interruption. And Sir K.V. Jayaraman, sir, can you hear me now? Sir, you can unmute yourself, sir, please. Sir Jayaraman, sir.
Sir. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Sorry for the interruption. Yes, sir. Thank you. Sorry for the interruption. Mr. Srikanth Sivaraman, past chairman CII Puducherry and director of Sriram Allies Private Limited, for his dynamic presence and the wonderful speech. I extend my sincere thanks to Ms. Prem Goyal.
Sir, actually, I think that he has some network issues, sir. Sorry, sir. And I just ask sorry for everyone. I'll just close the remark with the closing remarks that it is a great session that we had today. All the speakers and all the dignitaries who have just joined our program have gave a great insight and an eye-opening session to all the students of our institution on the area of how to be a successful startuppreneur. I would like to thank all the people, like starting from Syed Ali sir, Velu sir, Surendra sir, Nandakumar sir, Srikanth Sivaraman sir, and finally the Priyam Goyal ma'am for giving your ideas and thoughts on how to be a successful startuppreneur. I hand over the session to Velu sir now so that he can close the session and have with the closing remarks. Thank you, sir.
So, in fact, when we started, I really didn't expect this to come this well. Overall, I think the objective is met. I think normally the way we measure is what is the attendance and what is the kind of engagement. I think if you look at from that metric, I think the purpose is served. And I'm sure it has been a mutual learning from all of us. I think all of us learn from each other's experience. It's not only for the students. While we started this for the students, but I'm sure all of us learned something from this. Really, very well spent time, I would say. Last 1.5 hours has been really very good, and there has been great learning experience. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for joining the session and contributing for this great thing. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Especially Mr. Velu sir has made this session live and very interesting, enthusiasm by some videos and all that. So thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll close the session. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining, sir.
Recording stopped.